I'm Will Pye. Thanks for joining me. I am a coach, author, international speaker, and leader of retreats and workshops. And today I wanted to share with you a really, I think, kind of funny and beautiful aspect of my journey, how I created an income-producing asset from a brain tumor. So when I was diagnosed, I was very aware, having been studying mind-body medicine, having been studying psychoneuroimmunology, placebo effect, spontaneous remissions, and so on, by chance, as it were, for years prior to my diagnosis, that my self-diagnosis, the meaning that I gave, the thoughts, the feelings, and the beliefs that I had about what was happening, was as important, if not more important, than the doctor's terminology and their beliefs. So really, I didn't pay that much attention to the long words that the doctors used to describe what the brain tumor was. Initially, it was thought to be a low-grade glioma. What was important for me was that it wasn't growing. Whatever word you use to describe something, I know that generally my cranium isn't going to stretch, so that gross physical reality was obviously significant. But the terminology that doctors used was secondary. And for me, the self-diagnosis at the outset was that this was a gift from spirit, a gift from my soul, that facilitated a deeper healing, transformation, and awakening, that I would then serve others in their healing, transformation, and awakening. And so it has been. That's been my journey for the last 8 or 9 or 10 years now, is serving people as a coach, as a workshop leader, and so on. And what a joy and what a privilege and what a delight to have taken on that role. And when I had the conscious craniotomy a few years back now, about 6 years ago now, there was the pathology results that came through that indicated that what had been thought to be a low-grade glioma was now a little bit different. It was now a stage 3, a good stage 3 rather than a bad stage 3, and particular languaging was used, 2 very long words, and I didn't actually pay that much attention to, for the reasons that I've shared. And then a guy got in contact with me through Facebook, and he was doing some research on people who had had experiences of diagnosis with brain tumors, the outcomes that they had created, and he asked me, what did you have? What were the pathological results? And I didn't actually know, I didn't remember. I knew they were written down somewhere on a report, but as I say, they weren't important for me at all. I had an opportunity to grow and evolve and serve others in their growth and evolution. But in the asking, I did vaguely recall at least one of the words, and I shared that with him. But what tickled me most about the conversation is as it got to the end, it became pretty clear, I think, from his perspective, that maybe I was a little bit of an outlier and maybe not ideal for his study. And he said to me, I have to say, I think it's great that you turned your brain tumor into an income producing asset. So he's referring to my book, Blessed with a Brain Tumor, and other career growth and business growth that I've created and generated as a consequence of the experience and the learnings and insights that have arisen through that diagnosis journey and that journey of creating health and healing. And I just really loved this perspective. What I teach, what I share, is the power of alchemy, the power to change your perspective, the power to shift your consciousness and shift your experience of reality, to shift your physicality, to shift your energy systems, and to shift your life as a whole. So to hear this reflected back to me, that I had turned a brain tumor into an income-producing asset, just really tickled me. Now, sadly, it hasn't been a high return income-producing asset yet, but in all delight and play, that's part of my goal, is to help more people access this beautiful book and to see just how much income the asset can produce. Now, of course, there's a central principle in this that any of us can apply to any challenge or difficulty or pain or suffering in life, is to consciously give meaning to it. So this is true of life as a whole. It's true of our perspective of ourselves. What we think that we are and what we believe that we are, and what we feel that we are, and indeed what we think and feel and believe the world is a large causative element in what we will experience it to be. So just as I turned a brain tumor into an income-producing asset, I've turned suicidal depression into peace and joy. Just as you have the capacity and the power to shift your perspective and your consciousness in order to create alchemy and change in whatever challenge or suffering or difficulty you're facing. The questions I would invite you to consider asking to help create that shift are along the lines of, I share this in my second book, The Gratitude Prescription. Questions like, what is the gift here? What's the opportunity here? If I had somehow created this in order to learn something profound and valuable, what is that profound and valuable learning? So whether it's emotional pain we're experiencing, financial hardship, challenge in relationships, a health crisis, any of the challenges that we will inevitably encounter in life, I encourage you to consider the possibility that by changing the way that you look at things, you can change the things that you look at. And that through our thinking and our feeling and believing, we can create this magic, this alchemy. Thank you for listening to this little video today. I hope it's been helpful for you, and I hope that there's something that you can apply in your life for your creation of health, happiness, and healing. Thank you.